This is what we used to do, kids. We used to be patient. Don't be shooting in burst mode because you'll either break it or... Welcome to the channel, guys. Okay, so today, we just finished up a little headshot session. We're on our way to our next session. We have a couple today, but we have a little bit of time to kill. So I want to show you guys, because in the previous video, a lot of people were asking about portraits outside, high-speed sync with this little flash, the iT30 Pro. So today we're at Pasadena City Hall, beautiful location. We're gonna take Alexis again because he's helping me out today. So he's gonna be standing, sorry guys, we don't have any pretty girls. So we're gonna be using Alexis today for a little experiment with high-speed sync with the iT30. And then we're also gonna do how to shift the colors to make it look blue around Alexis. Back in the day, if your birthday starts with 1980 something, even 1990 something, you guys remember that back in the day, modifiers, CTOs were a lot harder to create. This is what we used to do, kids. We used to buy these very quiet sheets of CTO gel. We would find them on eBay, whatever, before the Amazon days, and then you would cut pieces and put Velcro and attach it to your flash. Okay, so that's what we used to do. Then MagMod came along and they kind of made it a lot easier. Like I always say, these are a little bit more expensive, but it makes your life easier. So in the end, you can use this, you can use Velcro, it'll be fine, but this is just a little bit easier. They're not paying me to say this. So I don't have any Velcro, I'm probably not gonna use this, but one thing that we were just looking at is, I think it's not perfect, but the MagMod attachments will actually work on this. So you're gonna see on one side, it's kind of not perfect. You see it right there. But for what we're gonna do to show you guys, this is gonna be enough. Honestly, ideally for this flash, I think I would probably go back to the Velcro situation in order to be able to add a CTO. We're just gonna rig it up like that to show you guys the effect of what we're gonna do when we wanna turn the surrounding blue and we want our subject to be color corrected. One thing that I wanna emphasize is that you wouldn't do this technique in the middle of the day if it was bright sunlight. First of all, this flash wouldn't be enough to overpower, but even a very large flash is gonna be very hard to overpower the ambient light. So if we were doing this type of shot, the one where we make everything look blue around our subject and our subject color corrected, you can only do it when it's dusk, when the sun pretty much set and it's almost dark, or when it's like this, when it's overcast. And what you're gonna do is you're gonna set your white balance down to around 3200 Kelvin. You're gonna make it really blue. If you took the photo without any flash, it's just gonna look very blue. And then if you add a little bit of color to your flash, the CTO, anything that gets hit by the flash is gonna be color corrected, as you guys are seeing right now that Alexis is color corrected and the surrounding is blue. You can only do it when it's somewhat dark around the ambient lighting. So the first shot that we're gonna do a little bit of high-speed sync with Alexis. Because I wanna get a little bit of sky in the background, I'll probably have Alexis standing over here and I'll have you hiding those poles over there. So you're gonna be standing over here, facing this direction. I'll probably have you turn this way so I can set the light coming this way. So most of the times, guys, you want the light to be coming from the direction that his nose is pointing. So generally speaking, obviously, guys, rules, are meant to be broken, I guess, sometimes. But we're gonna place some here so we can have the light coming this way. And then the background is just gonna be a bunch of clouds and buildings. Very blurry because we're gonna do high-speed sync. If you guys don't know what high-speed sync is, we're gonna put a big description in front of me right now of what high-speed sync is. And we have a video where we explain it a little bit further. So let's do this. All right, guys, so in order to put the X3 Pro in high-speed sync, you just scroll down, and then right there, you're gonna look for the H with a lightning bolt. Once you do that, it is now in high-speed sync, which means that your shutter speed will be able to be higher than 1/250th of a second in this case, which is I'm using the Sony A9. So with high-speed sync, I can now go as high as I want. And the reason for that is that I want to be at 2.8. I don't want to have to raise my f-stop if I were stuck at 250th. In order to underexpose the background, I would have to be at around f9, or let's go to 100 ISO. Yeah, around f8, f9 is where I would be at 250th of a second. However, if I go to 2.8 and I want it to be underexposed in the background, I can now raise my shutter speed, underexpose it. So that's what it's going to look like. That's my exposure preview. It's going to be nice and dark at 1/1600th of a second in high-speed sync. Okay, so I'm putting this thing, it's in manual mode, so I'm going to be able to control it from over there. I don't ever use CTL. I'm not against it. I've heard some really good things. Thank you guys for leaving comments about that. I think that TTL has definitely improved in the last however long, but I'm so used to shooting in manual that I just stick with manual. So this is a manual mode. I'm putting it on the narrow setting, so it's not gonna spread as much. And that's one thing that you can change on the iT30, which is cool. And once I set it up in high-speed sync on the camera, on the X3 Pro, it'll automatically have this in high-speed sync. As I was saying before I cut myself off before, opportunity cost is a real thing in life. So just because you can go past your native sync speed, you are now going to lose a little bit of power, because the flash isn't just going to flash once, the flash is going to burst multiple times quicker than what we can see with our naked eye, and that's how high-speed sync works, essentially. So understand that your power is going to be a little bit less intense, understand that your recycling speed is going to be a little bit slower, so just be mindful when you use high-speed sync and use especially a small flash like this. Be patient, don't be shooting in burst mode, because you'll either break it or it'll just stop recycling and it'll stop working, for the time being, until it cools off, obviously. So Alexis, once you're ready, I'm gonna have you come stand in this general area. And as usual, we have the flash a little higher, coming down a little tiny bit. So right around there. And it looks ridiculous on the stand because it's so small.
So smooth.
But it'll get the job done. So right around here. And then where I'm gonna have Alexis standing is over there, so he's gonna be covering that pole. So always be mindful of your backgrounds, because if you see a really good photo and then the only thing you see is a big tree or a big pole popping out of somebody's head, it really makes it, you know, it kills the photo. Alexis, look that way. Actually, stay right there. I'm changing the angle because we have a little surprise fire department. Look towards the flash. Good, hold that. Cool. So we're just changing the angle because we had a fire truck pull up exactly where we were shooting. So I'm going to shoot this direction. And the good thing about this, because we're shooting with shallow depth of field, is that pointing at you, Alexis?
Yeah.
Yep. The good thing about this, because we're shooting with a shallow depth of field, is that the background is very far away. So the further away the background, the more blurry everything looks in the back, which accentuates or exaggerates more of the high-speed sync effect. So now instead of just getting the sky behind them, I'm going to get more of the street behind Alexis. So I'm at 1/1000th of a second, 2.8, ISO 100, full power on the iT30 Pro. 1, 2, 3. So right there, full power, 1/1000th of a second, 2.8. So it's very slight, the flash, but it does fill in Alexis. If I took the photo without the flash, you can see that his face is dark. It's not filling in the shadows in his face, where when we use a flash, it is filling in all those shadows in his face. Now I got really low, like Little John, and I'm shooting just from his thigh up with the same exact numbers. Good, and it's, again, it's just filling in a little bit in his face. 1, 2, 3, cool. And now we're gonna do the technique that I was talking about with the CTO and the MagMod. It actually looks pretty cool.
Yeah?
Yeah. You're gonna get all the girls with this one. I hope. Cool. So we're gonna do again, same exact numbers. I may bring the flash a little bit closer because, guys, keep in mind that when you use any modifier, it kills one stop. So when we put that on, it's gonna kill a little bit of light. And since I'm not getting your feet in this one, Alexis, you can bring the flash even a little bit closer. So bring it nice and close. Once you're ready, right around there. Yep. So this is gonna hit him right here. I'm gonna have you looking this direction, not at the flash. I'm gonna set my white balance to 3200 Kelvin, and then I might underexpose it even a little bit more. So 1/1000th, 1/1600th of a second. Right there, before the next fire truck comes, what a disaster. Hold that right there. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Nice. You know what? I'm gonna do 1/1000th of a second. 1600 is too much and it killed too much flash. Because the higher shutter speed you go, the more flash you're gonna be killing, especially when you're doing this type of technique. So 1/800th of a second, let's try that. Alexis, turn your head to your left a little, right there, looking that way. Hold that, 1, 2, 3. So high speed sync and doing that technique of switching it to blue. Now, I'm gonna take high speed sync off. We're gonna be back stuck at 2/50th of a second. I'm gonna raise my f-stop, so now it's 6.3. Ready, 1, 2, 3. And the flash actually appears to be more powerful when it's not in high speed sync. So 2/50th of a second, 6.3. and the same exact technique as far as the shifting the colors, you guys can see that the flash appears more powerful. Only use high-speed sync if you really want to get that blur. Although even with this one, we're going to get some blur because it's a zoom lens. But, you know, if you want that blur, use high-speed sync. If you don't need the blur, then take it off so your flash becomes more powerful. So you see that? And that was with high-speed sync. The flash didn't appear as powerful. When it took off high-speed sync,
Yeah.
the flash looked more powerful.
Oh.
Both of them are full power, but high-speed sync is the difference.
Yeah.
So a lot of things today. I know, guys, I'm kind of rambling. There's a lot of information that I threw your way, but hopefully it made sense. Alexis, you know what? I got one more for you. So now, just for fun, because we're here, we might as well. We have a few more minutes before our next session, or we have at least 2 hours, but a few more minutes here. I'm going to do another one, Alexis, where you're going to be standing here. Same technique, no high-speed sync. You're just going to be standing here, just kind of facing this direction. I'm going to get a little bit of you, and I'm going to get this whole big tower back here. I'm going to use a very wide-angle lens, so there's no going around it. I'm going to have to Photoshop the flash out in post. That's a technique that we do sometimes, especially when a flash isn't as powerful. You can always just remove it in post. So we're going to have the flash right here, lighting Alexis right here. Alexis, you're going to be standing probably like right here, maybe the right hand in the pocket because it's closest to the camera, looking this direction, again, towards where the flash is going to be hitting you from. And I'm going to be getting a good amount of this tower. So let's see, same technique. We're going to make the surrounding blue, and we're going to keep Alexis color corrected with the flash.
I'm Batman.
There we go. Alexis says he looks like Batman, and I don't disagree. Bring the flash really close to you. I'm going to use you right there to cover that sign back there. Good. Looking that way. Hold it. Same numbers, 2/50th of a second, 7.1. Let me see. Good. And then my white balance is around like 3,400 Kelvin. So right there, starting to rain, so we only have so much time. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. All right, let's run. It's starting to rain. That's our cue. All right, shoot's over. Feel free to like the video, subscribe to the channel if you want to subscribe. And yeah, let me know anything else you guys want to watch. Thank you guys so much for watching.